What's up, everybody? This is Brian and Kyle, and we are coming to you with the first episode of the All Elite Hour. Kyle, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, Brian, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing just fan-fucking-tastic. This is brought to you by the All Elite Wrestling Discussion Facebook group. So if you're listening and you want to go check us out, it is a closed group. We are fucking growing by the minute. It's basically everything All Elite. Kyle, what else goes on in the Facebook group?
Besides all your basic AEW news, every now and then we'll have Q&As with AEW talent and staff and everything, as well as like up to date with all the news and everything.
Hell yeah. All right. And you're the admin for the Discord group, correct?
Yes. Yes, if you're familiar with Discord, it's the link is discord.gg/AEW. I'm one of the admins along with my friend Summer, and then we have a great mod team as well in there. And the Discord is actually officially recognized by AEW, and we have AEW talent.
Who are some of the names that you've had in the recent weeks?
On the Discord, like each week, we have a different talent come in, and we'll have people submit questions, and then after Dynamite, on Wednesday nights on AEW's Instagram Live, they'll go live and answer questions that are submitted on the Discord. The first week we had Luchasaurus, and the next week we had Orange Cassidy. This past week we were supposed to have Sonny Kiss, but unfortunately something happened and he couldn't come out to Jacksonville. So instead we got Dr. Britt Baker.
That's awesome.
To join us. I'll go ahead and give a first exclusive for the podcast. Hadn't been announced yet, but next week's guest is the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, that's amazing. That's really cool. Once again, that's AEW All Elite Wrestling Discussion. Send an invite, go click the like button, and then also if you like this, go check out Marked Out Wrestling. We do a Monday night show and a Wednesday night show. AEW and NXT on Wednesdays. And Monday night is Raw and SmackDown and basically anything wrestling. But today we are going to focus on everything All Elite. Some of the things we're going to cover, we're going to go through results and just kind of our takeaways from last night's Dynamite, the first one of the new year, 2020. We're also going to go into some headlines, some news from the past week. We're also going to take some listener emails, too. We have some questions from the Facebook group. If you'd like to submit some questions, again, go to that Facebook group, click the like button, is it a friend request? Is it, what is it, Kyle? It's not a like.
It's just like a regular group. What you do is just search AEW All Elite Wrestling Discussion in the groups and click join group, and you'll have two questions you need to answer, and just make sure you answer them, and you'll immediately get approved for the group.
Is the first question, do you like Jay White?
No, it's not. It's just simple as we just want you to read the rules and agree that you're going to follow them.
Right. Speaking of Jay White, actually, we're also going to do some Wrestle Kingdom thoughts and feelings about the upcoming event for the weekend, and not so much the whole thing. We're going to focus on Jericho and Tanahashi match, as well as we have the Lance Archer versus Jon Moxley Texas Death Match that's happening this weekend. Also, I don't know, Kyle, do you think with those matches happening this weekend, do you think next week we're going to be talking about some sort of New Japan, AEW, cross-promotional matchup, whatever? What do you think is going to happen from this?
Well, see, just like most all AEW fans, we all wanted a New Japan partnership. I think it'd be great for both companies. But personally, I'm about 95% sure Jericho is going to win the match, and that if you know Jericho and Tanahashi, both of them are really great storytellers in and out of the ring, and they know how to build a story
right
with their match. I think that Jericho is winning this match, and this is just they've added this stipulation just to add more to the match. They know they can, because everybody was excited about Jericho and Tanahashi, of course, because it's a dream match,
right?
And everybody was talking about it, but not as much as some of the other things. And now that this stipulation has been added, and New Japan has even retweeted the video, posted it on the YouTube page, and Jericho's accepted the stipulation. This match has now went from being something people were excited about for being a dream match to probably the most talked about and most anticipated match on the card, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. We'll get to it later on, but first, let's get into the AEW Dynamite results from Jacksonville. It was their homecoming show. They've been promoting it for quite some time now as kind of a big deal. There were some big takeaways. Kyle, I want to hear it from you first. What are your biggest takeaways from last night's Dynamite?
Well, first, I just want everybody to know that I absolutely love this venue. I think Daly's Place is like one of my favorite venues I've seen the AEW, and I really hope that they do more shows in Jacksonville. Well, like maybe this will be like an annual thing to do the first show in Jacksonville being there.
Right.
But as far as the show was, I don't know how you felt, Brian, or the rest of the viewers. It felt like them having that week off, they had time to regroup and kind of get back to. It honestly felt to me like the first 3 weeks, because we had a lot of bell-to-bell action with little bitty small segments every now and then. Like it felt like a really good balance to me between matches and segments.
Definitely.
Because like these past few weeks, even though I've enjoyed it, I feel like they've kind of sprinkled in way too many segments in between matches. But now it seems like they have a good balance again.
No, I thought it was an awesome show. The big thing for me, obviously, is the whole MJF, Wardlow, MJF's list of demands, so to speak, for this matchup, stipulations, for this matchup to happen. That's what I want to know. I want to know, do you think that he went, is it overboard for his character? Do you think this is, I don't know, a little outrageous for them to even to book it this way? Or what are your thoughts on the whole MJF stipulations with Cody?
Well, first stipulation, he said Cody couldn't touch MJF at all if he wanted the match.
Not at all, right.
Yeah, which I agree with. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty neat stipulation. And it shouldn't be too hard to follow. Maybe I'm sure over the weeks we'll see MJF really piss Cody off enough to where he wants to touch him, but he can't. The final stipulation, the lashes, I think it's going to be funny to see, but I would have liked something different. I thought MJF was just going to say he had to get on his knees and kiss the ring. I thought that's what they were going to do with that. But the lashes is going to be something to see if they actually do. The one I'm concerned about is the second stipulation. Cody has to beat Wardlow.
That's right.
In a steel cage match. So this will be the first steel cage match in AEW, and this will be Wardlow's debut match. Now, they didn't say when it's going to be. Talks on the internet is it's going to be in 2 weeks. I'll figure out some kind of confirmation on that. But I'm sure we'll find out next week.
Right.
But with it being Wardlow's debut match in the first steel cage match, that stipulation has me worried because it's like it's a double-edged sword. It's like Cody has to beat Wardlow in the match in order to get to MJF at Revolution. But at the same time, do you really have Wardlow lose his debut match?
And that's kind of what it seems like they're setting up to do, at least as far as what we've been seeing in the past when this angle has been booked before. But what about the whole thing with the lashes? In my mind, when I heard that, I was like, oh, man, this is going to be like a Tommy Dreamer, old ECW. Maybe this is what they're going for, have like an iconic moment like that. You know, they always kind of like to have throwbacks and nods to the past. Perhaps this is something that they could be angling up to do. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they're going to do that. I wouldn't mind seeing Cody just get in the ring, take the lashes, and just get up and just stare at MJF and just be like, you know, I've done the stipulation. I'll see you at Revolution.
Right. Ooh, what if MJF, like, I guess you don't kidnap a dog. Dog nap? If he dogs nap?
If MJF takes Pharaoh?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
They won't go that dark?
I don't know how I'd feel about that. I think that might be going a little overboard.
Right. Peter might be mad, actually.
If I'd want them to include Pharaoh.
Yeah, no, me neither. Speaking of dark, that was another thing, too. One of my favorite things of the whole show. Well, I don't know about favorite, but I guess the unsung favorite was the Dark Order promo that we had with Evil Uno. And if you guys go back and watch it, if you haven't seen it, but at the end of it, the last word that he says is wonderful. And it's all distorted. It sounds like it's kind of modulated. It's all fucked up. But
yeah, the when he said the exalted one,
right.
Yeah.
And he was saying that you're gonna see our original plan, just alluding to the fact that it seems like there's something coming. There's something that they're waiting to introduce on us. Saying the whole wonderful thing at the end. Kyle, what do you think this leads up to?
Yeah, like whenever he talked about the exalted one, I took it as him saying that we've all thought Evil Uno and Stu Grayson was the Dark Order, and Evil Uno has been the leader. I think there's this other higher being behind the Dark Order that we're going to find out who it is soon, and that's the Exalted One. With him saying "wonderful," and we'll have to get into fan theories here, but a certain broken someone's contract is up.
Yeah.
Here next month, and I gotta say, I would love to have him as the leader of the Dark Order. I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see Matt Hardy in AEW if that happens.
Oh, just thinking about it. I zoned out. I'm like, oh my god, having him and Stu Grayson just all together, and all the fucking creepers, like just the possibilities. Then having them inside of the broken universe. Oh, just man, yeah. It's all perfect.
Another thing, like with him saying "wonderful" and stuff, is that kind of points to Matt Hardy. Now, I've seen online, though, of course, everybody also wants the Exalted One to end up being Marty, because everybody wants Marty in AEW.
Right.
I think either one would be a good choice. For all we know, it could just be someone totally new.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he could, like you said, it could be Marty. He's one of the ones that seems like it's just a matter of time when he's going to show up to AEW. But they're smart. Maybe they know this, so that's why they throw in the wonderful towards the end, throw all of us off, just to think that it's a certain broken person. I just thought it was really cool that they're keeping us guessing. It's not just something to kill time. There's substance in it. There's always something to take away, and I think that they're great at doing, especially with being the Elite too. Little details in there that months down the line you go back and watch. You're like, oh shit, they were talking about that right in front of our face.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's quite a few for anyone who's listening who likes to go back and watch Being the Elite and see the little details they've thrown out. Like when people say you need to watch Being the Elite because there's just little small details in it. Just for example, the episode of Being the Elite where MJF is introduced as Cody's best friend is titled Full Gear.
Right.
And then back in July, Jericho did a BT mailbag on BT, and he mentioned his Inner Circle.
Mm. Plus, I mean, there's also, I know way back when I think it was when he first won the title, when he was storming backstage, he was like, "You'll never get a title shot of me, Scorpio Sky." And then a couple months down the line, what did we have a few weeks ago? Right? We had, that's right. It was that All Out. We had Scorpio Sky versus Chris Jericho. So yeah, it seems like they're just always working on something. Right. That's why with the whole them and New Japan and Tanahashi and him offering the match, like it's just, if they're not going to do it at all, it's like, why waste the time to even present that in front of our face if it's not going to happen?
Yeah. My one thing, something that would go back on that would be, it seems like New Japan is promoting it, but I haven't seen AEW promote that.
That's right.
So that's why, like I said before, I think my opinion is they're just using this as a way to build the matchup, and Jericho's actually going to win. Now, I think his match is Sunday, I believe is the Jericho Tanahashi
he's
match.
Sunday, and then Moxley is Saturday.
Yeah. Now, if Tanahashi pins Jericho, then we'll have a lot to talk about in the next episode.
Yeah, that's right. Is there a possibility that Jericho, is he going to come out with the AEW championship over there, you think?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, too. If he comes out with the AEW championship, I feel like he would. I feel like he will, just because they've already acknowledged it.
Agreed.
In New Japan, and it just wouldn't make sense for them just to pretend, just for him not to walk out as it.
Right.
I think that'd be a pretty awesome sight to see Jericho walking out at Wrestle Kingdom with the AEW Championship.
Agreed. There could be a possibility that they haven't said it yet, obviously, but what if the match happens in Japan? Like, what if it happens under the New Japan umbrella, but, if they haven't said anything that's going to happen, he's going to defend the AEW Championship against Tanahashi over here. Like, I mean, there's a possibility that he could have the matchup over there.
That's what everybody assumes, that if Tanahashi does beat Jericho, the AEW Championship is going to happen in AEW. But you make a good point. It could just happen in New Japan, and it could be absolutely nothing. Personally, if Tanahashi beats Jericho and there is a partnership and they allow Tanahashi to challenge Jericho for the championship, this would be the only way I'd want it to happen. At Revolution, I would want Jericho to beat Mox through some kind of shenanigans, and then afterward, Tanahashi comes out and challenges Jericho for the title at Double or Nothing.
Ooh. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely going to get interesting though after this weekend for sure.
But we can talk more about the New Japan stuff after Dynamite. We kind of went off track there.
yeah, right. Let's see. So MJF promo. We also had, there was the Jericho promo also with him offering in a video package 49% of Inner Circle LLC, which I think is fantastic. Now, so far Jericho has introduced this is an LLC, so this is like an official organization, it's an official business. Plus, a couple weeks ago, he had brought up the idea that there is an Inner Circle, I believe he called it the Inner Circle Sanctum. Like there's just some sort of headquarters where like they all just play ping pong, fucking throw darts, skee ball, shuffleboard. I don't know, you name it. I just love like all these little other elements that they're adding to this group. But Kyle, what I want to hear what your thoughts are as far as him offering Jericho and the response that the crowd had. But anyway, what are your thoughts on the whole segment?
I liked it personally. If I was Mox, that Ford GT was very nice, and I gotta say those stipulations would be hard to turn down.
Right, 49%.
49% of the Inner Circle LLC. But with that being said, though, I don't want Mox to join the Inner Circle. I think it'd be terrible for his character because I like Mox as this solo gun slinging badass, the lone wolf of AEW.
Right.
And personally, I just want him to say no and go on and kick Jericho's ass and win the championship. When he gave his answer and he said he had announced it next week, and then he started talking about how Jericho's like one of his best friends and stuff, because like when Mox left WWE, Jericho was like one of the first persons he did a podcast with and everything.
That's right.
I'm wondering how much his friendship is going to play into this, but when you're talking about the crowd response to it, like it didn't seem the crowd liked it too much, which I agree with. I think the reason why there was a negative response was because for the past 2 weeks it's been built up as this was going to be the episode that we were going to get the answer, and now they're sending it to next week, which I understand that they need to have something for everybody else to tune into next week. I think it would have been great if they would have given an answer here, but at the same time I also understood why they wouldn't, because Jericho's not there. He's already on his way to Japan or already in Japan already. And so you'd want Jericho to be there in person.
Now, are we supposed to think that Jericho is driving to Japan with his he's just trying to no.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was odd. I would think they'd use that same video that Jericho used with Tanahashi, where he was he was in front of his private jet, getting ready to go to Japan.
Right.
But no, once again, they want us to believe that private jet's going to get them to Japan.
Yeah. As far as with Moxley, just if I were there, I would have the same thing, and it's not really booing him. It's just like, fuck, I have to wait another week. I came here for this.
Yeah.
So I don't think, again, like you said, it's not really a slight at Moxley. It's just that's a natural response, for the crowd that was there. So
you would want to be there,
right?
Like you went there and you wanted to know the answer, but then you're having to wait another week,
right? Other things, though, we had the four-way matchup for the AEW Women's title: Riho versus Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida, and versus Nyla Rose. Now, one of the questions that I had with this one, and I want to get your thoughts on it, was how did Nyla Rose get a shot at the championship when she was just getting over suspension?
From my understanding, when the rankings came out before they reset the title, Nyla Rose was ranked number 4 in the rankings. So that's why it was Riho, Britt Baker, Shida, and Nyla Rose. Britt Baker being number 2, Shida being number 3, and Nyla Rose being number 4, and then of course Riho being the champion.
Okay. I mean, I thought this was a good matchup myself.
Yeah. For anybody who is confused about rankings, in case you didn't know, yesterday the rankings officially reset. Now, what this means is everybody has an overall record in AEW that doesn't go away, but there's annual records that reset each year. Now, if you're wondering why are people still getting shots and staying in the same rankings if they reset, it was explained. The best way to explain it to you: if you watch college football, every season, everybody starts off the season with a blank record, but they still have a top 10.
Right.
So that's how it is.
All right.
Yeah. So basically, like even though the rankings reset, you still keep what you had before, but now everybody has a clean slate to try and build up more toward that. And personally, with the records resetting, I hope that they use this to build up one of my favorite tag teams, the Jurassic Express.
One of the things with AEW, it seems like people show up 1 week and then usually they're good about pacing it and spacing it out and giving people at least airtime for something. But
what was your thoughts on the Mox and Inner Circle thing? Do you want Mox to join, or would you rather him stay solo?
No, I'm with you. I think he does better when he's just, like you said, he does his own thing. He's good at that. That's his nature. That's his personality. Now, granted, it is weird saying that when he spent half of his career in a faction, or in a trio. So it's weird saying that now, but I don't think that's kind of the last thing that he needs. I don't know. I just don't think that he really needs to be in the Inner Circle to be successful. I think he's doing just fine with where he's at right now. And, like I said, I get why they're teasing it. Give it suspense and just kind of leave us hanging until next week. But no, personally, I don't think. I think it's going to be a whole fake out. I think maybe he'll say he's going to join and then give a paradigm shift to every single person in the ring. One of the questions, though, I have in regards to the Inner Circle, can you answer why Jake Hager hasn't wrestled? Is it just because of his MMA stuff that he's got going on?
That's what I've heard from some people in AEW, that it's all due to his MMA contract.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I don't know if he has an upcoming fight here soon and that he's just having to hold off on wrestling until he's done with that, or how that is.
Right.
But I'm hoping we see a match soon. He seems to have already built up a feud with Luchasaurus and Dustin, and I'm down to see either of those matches happen.
Yeah.
What I liked in this match, throughout the match, we saw Nyla Rose put Sheeta through a table and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really enjoying that they're going back to building Nyla Rose to be a beast in this division and just destroying all the women. I think Nyla Rose could be built up to be this very dominant force. I definitely see her getting the championship at some point.
Yeah, as do I.
She's very impressive. She's definitely improved a lot from the first time we saw her at Double or Nothing.
Agreed.
When she did that swanton, wow. I had no idea Nyla Rose could do a swanton.
She can move.
It's insane. She's great. But I thought the test match was really good. I was really looking forward to it. And everybody looked really good in this ring, and even Britt Baker. And a lot of people, including myself, have said in the past, Britt Baker seems to be the weakest of the women's division.
Yeah,
she don't look as good in the ring as the rest of them, but I think she did really well here.
I think it was one of her better showings. I'm with you.
Oh yeah, for sure. And now, personally, in this match, I was rooting for Sheeta. I've just been a massive Sheeta fan ever since I saw her debut on Dynamite. I really want her to be the champion at some point. She's like one of my favorites on the roster. She had a really great showing throughout this match as well. I like how they had the match. How throughout the match they made Rio, even though she's a lot of people are negative about Rio being champion because she's not believable. But I believe throughout this match, Rio really showed why she is the champion.
Any other things of note from Dynamite before we move on?
3 more. First of all, my absolute favorite match of this night. Well, it's hard to pick. Personally, I'm going to go with what I was most excited for, and I felt it delivered, was Cody versus Darby Allin 2.
Definitely.
That was amazing. I've been waiting for this rematch since Fyter Fest, and it delivered. Darby Allin is absolutely amazing. I'm telling you now, he's going to hold the championship at some point. The kid is extremely over. It is insane how good he is in the ring. I was really hoping Darby would win this, but I understand Cody winning, and I felt both him and Cody did really well. I liked the callback to Fyter Fest with Darby doing the coffin drop onto the apron on Cody.
And hitting it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That was really neat. But what I really like to talk about in this match is, everybody's been wondering when the news broke that Arn Anderson was going to be Cody's manager, how that was going to play out. I saw a lot of negative response to that because people were saying, Cody's a great talker. Why does he need a manager? I think this match showed how they're going to do that, and I think it's going to go well. I liked how Arn Anderson pretty much was at the right perfect time, jumped on the apron to distract the ref and calls and getting Cody to put his knees up and pull off the victory unexpectedly on Darby.
He was almost like he was like an offensive coordinator type of role.
I noticed he was like calling out stuff to Cody with a paper in front of his mouth. That was
like covering his mouth. I was like, oh my god, when he covers his mouth, he almost looks like Andy Reid because he can't see like the bottom half. You just see like the glasses and the bald head.
Yeah. One of the things I wish AEW would have touched us up on that's pretty neat with the Arn Anderson Cody Rhodes pairing is as everybody knows, Cody Rhodes hasn't been a world champion, has never won a world championship in any promotion. Arn Anderson also has never been a world champion,
so they can kind of confide in each other.
Yeah. To move on from that match, one other match that really surprised me with how good it was Trent and Jon Moxley. Because personally, when this match was announced, I was just like, well, this is going to be a Jon Moxley squash match.
Right.
And even before this match, I jokingly tweeted out, "Rest in peace, Trent." And wow, I couldn't have been more wrong. At one point, I thought Trent was going to win and give Mox his first loss.
I thought so too, especially with all the nonsense going on with Chucky T and Orange Cassidy even getting into the mix too. And how did you what were your thoughts on Moxley even doing the whole pockets spot?
I absolutely love that because I don't know, if people aren't familiar with Jon Moxley outside of his when he was in WWE as Dean Ambrose, he actually does comedy really well. If you watched him in the G1 last year, his match with Yano showed he can do comedy really well as being serious. And I really like that they did this spot. I really hope to see more antics with Mox. It could be hilarious, and I think what he did was just perfect. I
mean, Moxley himself is very over the top, like you said. So yeah, his mannerisms in there, and just with him, and I mean, obviously Cassidy is Cassidy. Like, he's going to do his thing. He seems to get, every single week we see him get one of the biggest fucking crowd reactions of the show. It's amazing.
It's insane how show up randomly in the background of a video package and everybody goes crazy. It is insane how over he is.
Now, one of the things we haven't talked about, we had the main event was the Elite against Lucha Brothers and Pac. One of the things that I was kind of questioning was the match placement on the show. I mean, this wasn't for any kind of title. This wasn't for any kind. I know it's a big grudge match. Title matches should always be in the main event. That's just my opinion. That's also how it usually is. But maybe they didn't want to put the women's match in that spot. I don't know. But what do you think? I mean, it was a good match. But what are your thoughts on that main event?
Well, like you said, I'm glad you touched up on that. That's been a big gripe for me. We were told when AEW started that every championship was going to matter, and that whatever championship was on an episode, no matter what, that was going to be the main event.
Right.
And it seems they haven't really kept that promise. But as far as this match, I was worried at first because when the match started, I think there was 10 or 12 minutes left in the show, and they hadn't even started the entrances yet. And so I was like, well, something has to happen, or something's going to go crazy here. And it started off kind of slow at first, and then it really picked up. It really turned into a hell of a match. I was wanting them to have more overrun so we could get more of this. One of the things I really took away from this match, and I don't know how people are going to feel about it, but I absolutely love the Young Bucks as a team. Mm-hmm. But in this match, and what I've seen in the past, if they ever break up or decide to do solo stuff themselves, I'm not going to be unhappy because, goddamn it, I want a Nick Jackson solo run so bad.
A Nick Jackson, wow, okay.
Absolutely amazing, especially in this match. Just watch everything he did with Rey Fenix, which was a great callback to their singles match.
Yep.
And when him and Pac faced off, I would love to see Nick Jackson versus Pac. But as far as the rest of the match, though, it was really really good. It was odd to me that Pac didn't do too much till near the end of the match, but what he did do was really great. But yeah, man, these teams can just really put on a hell of a match, and I think it really showed. People kind of got a little worried there for a little bit that the Elite didn't really have it anymore, and I think the Elite really proved it this match that they can still go and they still have it. Another thing is that you can tell AEW is listening to feedback from the fans, because a lot of people over the past few weeks have been griping about them losing too much, and I feel like this was them coming back to show it, hey, here's the Elite, they can still win.
Well,
what was your thoughts on the match?
I thought it was a good match, but I kept thinking, I was like, man, like this isn't really for anything. Like it's a grudge match, yeah, and all these guys in there are fucking phenomenal. Like I love watching their matches, but I don't know what else he could have put there. Outside of the women's match, I don't know what other segment could have gone last. Maybe the whole Moxley promo and him with the inner circle, but then the crowd would be booing, and that wouldn't be good. You don't want to send them home.
Yeah, that'd be a terrible way.
That'd be terrible, right?
But I do like how the show ended with Cody coming out to the ring, and then them trying to get Hangman Page to come out to the ring, who was on commentary, and him not coming out there. I like that they're continuing this. Hangman isn't on the same page as the Elite / I believe he's actually not in the Elite anymore.
No,
I'm not really sure there.
No, they never really kind of said officially, but I know he kind of like went his separate way and is trying to do his own thing.
I like that they did this. I don't know if they didn't close on this, but I saw a fan picture get posted earlier after the show last night that there was a picture of Kenny, the Bucks, and Cody all doing the 4-man hug in the ring.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that was pretty neat that they did that, but Hangman wasn't there.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm wondering how what's going to pay off. Like I like that they're continuing that storyline. When it comes to this main event, though, when you're talking about how there really wasn't much other than just like a grudge match, the only thing that really played into the storyline with this match would be Kenny and Pac.
Right.
I'm wondering how this is going to lead to Pac getting his rubber match from Kenny.
Right.
Because Pac did hit the Black Arrow on Kenny. Another thing with that, I really liked that he hit the Black Arrow and then somebody interfered, so Kenny didn't kick out of the Black Arrow, so the Black Arrow is still protected.
I thought it was a solid episode of Dynamite, first one of the fucking new 2020 year. I thought they did a good job, and they definitely did a good job setting up the shows moving forward, namely next week. Kyle, did you had the card for next week, right?
For Tuesday on Dark, in case you want to know, I won't give away the results, but the match card for Dark for Tuesday is Shawn Spears and Preston Vance. I'm not really too familiar on who Preston Vance is.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll have to look into that. Versus, this is what I'm pretty excited about, Austin and Billy Gunn, the Gunn Club, are going to be in a tag match, which is going to be great. For those that don't know, Austin is Billy Gunn's son.
That's right. And he had some appearances in Ring of Honor recently.
I would love to see what Austin Gunn can do. But also we have Awesome Kong has a match with Skylar Moore. She's really great on the indies. I'm assuming this is just going to be a squash match for Nightmare Collective.
Yeah, she's going to.
I haven't heard anything. I don't know if Skylar Moore is signed or if she's just there doing an appearance. Maybe it's a tryout. We'll see. And then STU faces the Hybrid 2 and Kip Sabian.
No matter who you throw out there, I'm sorry, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. No matter who you throw out there, it's going to be a fucking good match. Their roster calls for it, you know?
Oh, speaking of Kip Sabian, one of the things we didn't touch up on, kind of forgot about it there for a second. They just kind of threw it in there. I think they could have built it up more. I really don't want them to do this, but if they do it, I hope they do it right and that everybody's okay with it. It seems they're going to do a Kip Sabian Joey Janela match.
Yep.
And personally, I really didn't want this, and I've heard that other people involved in this didn't really want this. Maybe they've changed their mind about this. For those that aren't aware, Joey Janela used to be with Penelope Ford for years. She accompanied Joey Janela, and then she left Joey Janela for Kip Sabian in real life. It's kind of odd. I don't know how this is going to play out, and I really hope that they do it right. If they are going to do this.
Well, I mean, you have the whole Lashley, Lana, Rusev angle going on in the WWE world, so I mean, it's only proper that AEW has their own version of it too, right? At least this one's legit. This is real.
Yeah, not to bash WWE or anything, but let's just hope if they do Joey Janela and Kip Sabian, it's much better than that storyline, and we'll just leave it at that.
Oh my gosh.
That's your matches for Dark for Tuesday.
Very good.
And for next week, though, for Dynamite, we have there'll be 2 segments so far that have been announced. We'll have Cody's answer to MJF's stipulations, if he's going to accept or not. I'm assuming he'll accept. Mox's answer to joining the Inner Circle. Let's hope he says no. Sammy Guevara versus Christopher Daniels, which was set up earlier in Dynamite in a backstage segment. Lucha Bros versus Cody and Dustin Rhodes. That's going to be great. I always love seeing Cody and Dustin. Speaking of Dustin, one thing we didn't touch up on Dynamite, his match. He had a match with Sammy, and my God, if you would have told me last year that I was going to be excited to see Dustin Rhodes in a singles match in 2020 or 2019 last year, I would have said, no, there's no way, man. He has absolutely proven he still absolutely had it, and he was just being held back in WWE because he hit a Canadian Destroyer on the apron to Sammy, and I was just like, damn.
And the power slam, that was what blew my mind. The power slam on the outside, but then obviously the Canadian Destroyer. I mean, holy fuck.
Like, damn, like, Dustin can still, I don't know anybody else, how everybody feels about it. I really want, before he retires in AEW or leaves AEW, I want to see Dustin Rhodes hold the championship at some point.
Well, hold a championship. I don't care which one.
You need something. So we had Lucha Bros versus Cody and Dustin, and then we're going to get, Rio is going to in the women's championship against Chris Statlander. Now, personally, with Rio winning this, I've been saying this since last week when this was announced. If Rio was to retain, I'm assuming Chris Statlander is going to take the belt from her next week. That's what I'm hoping, because I think Chris would be great, would be a great champion. But then again, I wouldn't be unhappy if Rio retained, because I may be in the minority. I like Rio as champion. I do wish, I do understand a lot of people are kind of mad that, she's a champion in Stardom, so she has Stardom stuff she has to do, so she's not there every week, but I think she's doing great. Speaking of that, did it seem to you that there might be possibly teasing a Britt Baker heel turn from that backstage segment with Rio?
How so?
Well, it seemed like I don't know if I just misinterpreted it. It seemed very heelish to me. I did like that she brought up the fact that she's not there. I like that they're acknowledging that. But I don't know. I thought that was kind of odd. I'm really not sure what they're doing with Britt Baker right now. Like, she's lost a lot. And when AEW started, I figured she was going to be the face of AEW.
Yeah.
So I'm really not sure what's going on there.
I don't know either.
Other than that, we also have Hangman and Kenny are going to face Private Party, my absolute favorite tag team in AEW, and I had no idea who they were before AEW. And that's one of the things I love about AEW is that I'm seeing people that I absolutely had no idea who they were. I go and watch their indie stuff or watch a promo that AEW produces, puts out about them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, okay, I'm a fan. That's how I felt about Darby. I had no idea who Darby Allin was. And then when I watched his Road 2 series video package, I was like, yep, I'm a fan. Get behind this guy.
This weekend, 2 of the matches that kind of affect the AEW would be Jon Moxley versus Lance Archer. That's for the IWGP United States Championship in a Texas death match. What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to walk away with that belt?
From my understanding, I believe this is it. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Is Mox is facing Lance Archer for the championship in Texas death match on Saturday. Whoever wins that match, I believe, is facing Juice Robinson the next night. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what was said. I think if Mox wins, if he beats Lance Archer, I think he's going to lose to Juice. I don't want him to lose Juice, because I'm also a big Juice Robinson fan,
right.
And I just don't want him to get stuck in that United States. Just going back and forth with the United States Championship. But I think this is going to be a really good match. It's a Texas death match in New Japan. Like, wow. Yeah.
Are we going to see an exploding rings? Is that going to happen? Are they going to bring that back?
What I'm wondering about that. From my understanding, I want to say the rules of the Texas death match are you have to win by, I don't think it's by pinfall. I think it's by submission or a 10 count. just like a last man standing.
Okay.
I believe that's what it is. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what I read were the rules of it. I think this is going to be a hell of a match, and a death match. So right in Mox's favorite thing. I really wasn't a big Lance Archer fan until last year when he was in the G1. He was amazing. He had one of the best G1 runs of the year, and so I'm all aboard Lance Archer train. If you go into Twitter, go to NJPW Global's Twitter account, a promo that Lance Archer did on Mox last night, where he was burning a shield in a fire, and he said in the promo that you've always had a shield to protect you, and I thought that was kind of hilarious callback to his old action in WWE. But it's a really good promo. I think people should go back and watch it. I'm pretty excited about this match. I think Mox is going to win, and then I think he's going to drop it to Juice the next night. Could be wrong though.
Right.
We could have Mox retain both, because in a Chris Van Vliet interview that last year, Mox said that he wants to wrestle in New Japan. He wants to stay wrestling in New Japan for as long as he's wrestling.
I do think that Juice could end up with the belt. As far as who wins Saturday, you know what? I'm just going to say Moxley, just because, like you said, he has been saying, he's been on record saying that he doesn't want anything to end with New Japan. Now, I know maybe business is going to be picking up for him on the AEW front, so maybe that could cause maybe some complications with things if they're going to be pushing him, say, in both companies. Can he really do both of those schedules? Now, I know he doesn't always have to be in both places at the same time. Still, that could cause some confusion.
Another thing with that is, if Mox does win both nights and stays as the IWGP United States Championship, another factor that can play in is, as people know, New Japan is starting a promotion in the United States.
That's right.
New Japan of America. How is that going to play into it? Because as far as from what I understand with the contract is, AEW talent are allowed to wrestle for any other promotion as long as it's international. As far as a big promotion but as far as in the States, AEW gets priority. So Mox is going to win and stay the IWGP United States Championship. How is that going to play into he's not going to be able to do the U.S. shows? So there'd have to be a partnership between them and AEW for him to show up to the United States New Japan shows as the United States champion. And I'm assuming the United States Championship would be a big championship that they'd want to promote for the new promotion.
I wonder how with having the whole United States part of New Japan being brought in, I wonder how that's going to work with AEW also. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of crossover as far as wrestlers working in both companies at some point in their career. We'll see. I don't know. Then the other big one too, Jericho versus Tanahashi. That's Sunday, January 5th. If Tanahashi wins, Jericho said he's been on record. I mean, New Japan even tweeted it out. It's a real thing that if Tanahashi wins, Jericho will grant him a AEW championship. We touched on it a little bit earlier on, but this is a big deal. How did Tanahashi refer to it?
He wants to open the forbidden door.
Open the forbidden door.
Yeah, and in Jericho's Instagram video, when he initially responded to it, he even hashtagged "Forbidden Door" in the thing in the response.
That's great.
I couldn't imagine if AEW and New Japan was to partner up and do a cross promotion pay-per-view called the Forbidden Door. That'd be pretty neat.
Oh my god! have the match beyond happen at the Forbidden Door. That's going to happen next year.
I don't want to, I don't want to be like, you shouldn't believe this. Nothing's going to happen. All I'm trying to do is, by saying this, is I don't want people to get their hopes up and then be disappointed, because I know that if people sit there and they believe that this partnership's real, and then Jericho wins, of course people are going to be furious and think that they led them on and thinking something wasn't true. So don't get your hopes up. I don't want you to get disappointed. I'm 95% sure Jericho is going to win the match, and that this is just added in to build the match. We could be wrong. If Tanahashi wins, then maybe there's a partnership.
Or maybe there could be some sort of weird finish, which kind of would muddy the waters a little bit moving forward. But at least they're teasing it. At least they're acknowledging one another. That's really just the first step.
Yeah, like the fact that they're acknowledging one another, that shows me that we're taking a good step forward into this possibly happening.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to say that for sure with a doubt that this will happen. Personally, I do think at some point both companies there's gonna be some kind of partnership, because it just makes fucking sense. It's gonna be great for both companies. Everybody, all the fans want it.
This is the portion of the show where we'll get to some listener emails. If you want to email us and ask us some questions, Kyle, what's the email that you got?
All Elite Hour Podcast, all one word, no spaces, All Elite Hour Podcast @gmail.com. You can send us email us questions, and we'll try to answer them on the next show. I wanted to say, how great would it be if Jericho comes out with the AEW Championship at Wrestle Kingdom along with the Inner Circle?
Then you know that there is obviously something going on with if they're allowing all the other guys to show up too. Yeah,
that would definitely show me something.
All right, so Kyle, we have listener emails coming in. One of the ones I want to ask you that kind of piqued my interest, and I want to hear your opinion on it. Who would you like to see in AEW that's not currently on the roster? Who would you like said person to feud with?
Anybody who's not in AEW already, who would I like to see in AEW? Well, see, there's a few. There's quite a few. I'll go ahead and name them. It's all mostly people who fan favorites that people want anyway. Of course, Marty Scurll.
Yep.
I mean that's a given. I want Brody Lee, formerly Luke Harper. I want Broken Matt Hardy in AEW.
That's a good one.
I want the Revival and Tessa Blanchard.
How long is she locked up into Impact? Do you have any idea?
I've heard mixed things. The last thing I heard was that at the next Impact pay-per-view, Hard to Kill?
Mm-hmm.
I heard that her contract's up there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what is going on there, if that's true or not.
Okay.
But, I want her. Chanel Dashwood would also be great.
Yes.
Yeah, as far as who they feud with, I'm not too sure on everyone, really. Marty, everybody would want him to join. I think everybody would want him to join the Elite. Personally, I think it would be great if he went after the Elite and they continued the storyline of his friends betraying him or leaving him. So I think that'd be great. Brody Lee, I'm not really sure who I'd want him to feud with. I'm sure he'd have a hell match with anybody. So I'm not really sure on that one. The Revival, it pretty much writes itself. The Young Bucks, or here's one that I didn't think I'd want until I saw them picture together, and I thought, well, hell, that'd be a hell of a match together. Young Bucks, not Young Bucks, the Revival versus Private Party.
Oh my God, yeah, it would. The Revival against anyone, it would just be so fresh seeing them against just someone other than like the New Day and outside of the WWE.
Just Revival in general being added to the already stacked tag division would be insane. I just can't even imagine what all we'll get if that happens. But As far as everybody else, Broken Matt Hardy, like I said before, I think it'd be great if he came in and it came out he was the leader of the Dark Order. I think that'd be great. I don't really know who I'd want him to feud with, so I'll just leave that one blank. Tessa Blanchard. Her and Chris Statlander would be great.
Yeah.
Her and Hikaru Shida would be great. Tenelle Dashwood, I think her and Britt Baker would be really great.
I could see them going together, or one of the names too that I'll throw out there. I don't know. It might be a little bit surprising. I want to see Zack Ryder outside of fucking WWE. I know him and Cody are like best buds.
Oh yeah.
They go to fucking Disney World all the time together. I want to see Zack Ryder do something just with just with substance.
Yeah.
With just I don't know. It's just he's been in WWE for so long. He's talented. He can do stuff. I want to see him. It would just be very intriguing if he ever ended up somewhere else outside. I think he could do great if he wanted to. Now, I don't think he actually is going to leave. I think he's got a good thing going with him with like the whole action figure podcast and that being included with WWE and all their shows and YouTube shows and all that. So, especially and his did they get married yet? Fiance, wife, Chelsea Green. I don't think they got married. They're engaged.
I want to say they got married.
No,
we
I
could be
missed
wrong,
it.
though.
I wasn't invited. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Though. Zack Ryder would be great. Would be great. I'd love to see what he can do outside WWE. Just one more. As far as like more, only probably more known to more people who follow the Indies. I would love to see Chris Bay.
Yeah, he does a lot of good things out on the West Coast, right? Yeah, I think Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
Yeah, he's great.
Phenomenal guy. And he's young. I think he's like early 20s. I think he's barely. I don't think he's even 25 yet. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I know he's a young guy.
It'd be good to get some of these really good indie young guys in AEW.
And again, if you want to email us, allelitehourpodcast@gmail.com, all one word. Kyle, this has been fun. This has been, I guess, this wasn't really episode 1. This is really kind of episode 0 or -1.
Yeah, I think I called it more like a pilot episode.
Right. The Facebook group is AEW All Elite Wrestling Discussion. Go check us out. Go send a request. Also, Marked Out Wrestling on Facebook. We have shows on Monday nights. We have our shows on Wednesday nights. Those are reaction shows for Monday night is WWE. Wednesday night is AEW. And we also treat NXT, too. We tie that in and do both and kind of the takeaways from both shows on Wednesday night.
So y'all have a Twitter as well?
We do. We have a Twitter. It's at SmartMarkShow. We're also on Instagram at Marked Out Wrestling, and then on Facebook, Marked Out 1. But you can just look us up. It's Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. Find us all over there.
Hey, you have a personal Twitter you want to plug, Brian?
Yeah, you can follow me. I'm at MarkedOutBT, or you can find me on Instagram at BT. There are 3 E's after the B and 3 E's after the T. Feel free to go check me out. Go send me a message or whatever the fuck. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, everybody go follow Brian's podcast and follow him on Twitter and like his stuff on Facebook and listen to his podcast. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Kyle S. Prescott, all one word, on Twitter. And like I said before, I'm one of the admins over the AEW official Discord, and you can find that the link is discord.gg/AEW. The founder of the Discord, who I help run it, is Summer, and I'm hoping we can have her on a future episode and she can talk more about the Discord.
Sounds good, man. Well, this was fun, and so we'll be back with we'll be back with like an official episode. This is really just we're just kind of working out the kinks, getting this.
This is more of a I want everybody's feedback episode.
Yeah, so let us know what we could add to it. Let us know what we can take away. Let us know, I don't know, what you got for Christmas or Hanukkah. Just tell us anything. Tell us whatever the fuck you want. But Kyle, it's been fun, man.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, and we'll be back.